Alright, so what I'm trying to do is some exploration work, and this is something that I want to do because I feel like there's a lot that has happened in the last 1 or 2 years related to how we style components, and I feel like I'm a bit out of touch with it mostly. And the way I like to do it is reinvent and see how things are, how things feel, and that helps me learn. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is an experiment that I was doing in, when is the date? 2 years ago, November of 2019. That feels like forever ago. And let me hide these things. And what that experiment was basically was that you write your styles in a JS file and then it extracts them into CSS. And nothing new. I was basically trying to learn how something like this would work. And so this is what I had at the time, where you write your styles something like this, and you can use like box. These are like tokens. These are not the CSS values, like gray 800, and then it would output. It would output things that look like them, and then interpolate these classes so that margin bottom 1 is actually 4. Etc. And like now this is actually a thing where vanilla extract is very similar, where you can write your styles in TypeScript and you get checking and then you can extract it. Actually, let me open. Is it sprinkles or is it the other one? The basic idea is that you can write your styles in TypeScript and it's of course typed, and then you can extract it. What is dessert box? Library to make it easy to consume. Okay, cool. So this is the style system equivalent of in the vanilla extract world. Does it credit style system? No. Okay, never mind. Anywho, so I worked on this for maybe a week last year, 2019, and then I tagged it like proof of concept, and then never looked at it again. Okay, this is gonna be difficult. I want to have comments open, but library to make it easy to consume. Okay, cool. Let's see. How do I open this pop-up? There we go. And does it stay? It does. Cool. I'm gonna put this on live chat and put it somewhere here. Hello everyone. Okay. Mostly what I wanted to do is like I'm off work for a week and the Netherlands is in lockdown and I don't have any plans until tomorrow or actually next week. There's a one dinner plan. So I thought I'll use this time to kind of get into the styling thoughts that I have. Cool. So I wrote this long document with just like maybe features that I want. And there's like co-locating styles, and you get a class name, you have a theme aware CSS or SX prop, it has to be type safe, long list. And then I was like, okay, what do I really care about here? It came down to like it has to be co-located with the components either in the same file or right next to it. And then you should be able to extract it to CSS. So you don't need a runtime. But it should still support some semblance of like a prop based style. So this is the interesting part. Only though this was like I was thinking about like what does the critical CSS story look like here? Because if you're extracting, what do you leave out and etc. Okay, so I have no idea where to start or how to even begin this project, so I'm gonna do like a super from scratch build something. Let's see. Let's go inside. There's a bunch of stuff here. Maybe I should just start with like a create React app or a create next app. I don't have an opinion. I don't know how to create a next app with TypeScript support. Okay, hyphen ts, great. There we go. That's it. What are we gonna call our project? I'm gonna call it, I don't have a name, so I'm gonna call it unnamed until I figure out what to call it. Okay, this should be fast. Unnamed, alright, let's see. Let's get in there. Alright. Cool. Unnamed and then yarn dev. Does it create like a package? Interesting. It creates like a package lock because I use npx instead of yarn. Interesting. Well, I don't care. Yarn dev. We have a server. Perfect. Let's yes, I use light theme. You'll get over it. Okay. So, whoop, too far. Move to the left. Alright then. So, I guess what I really want here is that, where's that file? This one. These two are like the big. If we solve this, then the rest of it is maybe doable. I'm gonna close this then. Too many tabs. I don't like tabs. Windows open. Hey, hi. Press backtick in your keyboard on GitHub. Yep, I know it opens code spaces. It's nice. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna start by creating like a button component, and it should render like, on the very least, it should render a button. Okay, so that should work. And then we don't need any of this because we will render a button with like, hello. Alright, that's it. This is the only thing we have. Now, what would be interesting is that this button should accept like a few variants. Let's call them appearance for now because variants can mean different things. There's a primary, maybe there's a destructive, and there's a secondary. And then I want like sizes, so there can be a size small, medium, large. Right, so then this basically can have like a, let's see, appearance, what do I want, primary, secondary, destructive, and the default is probably secondary, I don't know. So we have these 4 buttons. Now, where do the styles come from? So I'll delete all of, I don't need these types either. Sweet. Okay, let's start by typing this because I think it would be useful data. React.fc, I want parents to be these 3. I like how it's like slowly becoming nicer. Okay, and appearance is actually conditional. See? Okay. Okay, 1 second. Hey, hi, press backtick on your keyboard. Nope, it enables GitHub soft mode. Oh, this thing, yeah, I had to disable it because, like, sure, don't need it right now, but yeah, cool thing. Oh, that's my phone. Sweet. Let's see. So what I want as the output is that we want some CSS at the end of the day, of course, and we don't want it to be runtime. So okay, 1 second, I need to do something on my phone. Is this the one? Yep. Cool. Let's see. Okay, so let's do this the opposite way. If I had to load some CSS, example, I had to like generate some button.css. We don't need this anymore. Poof. Right, and then we want to load it only when this is loading, but we don't want to necessarily scope it. So we don't need API. We could load it here. Import styles button.css. Sweet. Now this appearance, oh, this would actually end up in the prop itself, wouldn't it? Yeah. Sweet. Which is perfect. We don't need to do anything else then. So if we have button appearance, primary, give me background green maybe. Just okay, that's strangely ugly green. Okay, still bad, but we can work with that. And oh, and then we can have like all buttons. You know what? I think I want the border, but I want this color. Border color is also the same. I'm gonna go for like border 1 pixel solid. Sweet. Ooh, I could also do this. This is cool. Let's see some breaks so that we can actually see our buttons. Okay, interesting. Now of course you wouldn't want to like ship this random tag on your component. This would probably be a class name. So if you want something like this, I don't think this is BEM or anything, but like I'm just trying to go for like what is the variant name and what is the variant style, right? And then this then needs to get to like class name, appearance, and then props dot appearance, right? And then actually, you know what, we're gonna take out appearance so that we can also give it a default which is secondary. Okay, I'm gonna do this. So it seems simple till now. Appearance. Okay, let's see, did I break anything? This is a class of appearance. Oh, I want it to be like double hyphen. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna quickly do the same for the other ones. I want this secondary to be like some light gray. There's a thing called silver, I think. Silver, nice. I'm reconsidering if I care about the border. So for now, I'm just going to do a border none, and then we can see that later. Secondary is silver, and then finally destructive is tomato. And then tomato needs to have color white, because otherwise it's not visible. Okay, so this is what we want to generate. More realistically, this is what we want to generate. It should be button. Yeah. Because we don't want global styles, we want still. Okay. Cool, so this was easy. Now let's do size. How do I get this to show up nicely? Okay, size, which is also optional, and it can be small, medium, or large. And then I guess it's just size medium, maybe. Oh, size. And then I'm gonna say medium here. Okay, seems fine. Parents primary size small, and then maybe the same, why add random variety. So this one small, I want this one to be large. Okay then, I guess that should be good. And now let's write the style. Button size small. I don't really know what I want here, so I'm just gonna change like font size and stuff. Okay, font size is, the default font size is 16. There you go. So we have small, and then we want a large one, which is probably 18. I'm gonna make this 14. Okay. If this is a little bit too big, so I'm gonna make it 16, 12, and default as 14. Okay, that looks good. Cool. Quick break for comments. What texture editor is that? Yep, it is VS Code. Looks very minimal. Is there an extension? You kind of can start removing things. So I basically hide a bunch of things, like, let's see, what's the bottom thing called? Status bar. Yeah, so I have a status bar visible false, and you can make it true and it will show up, but I usually just have it off. And this, I think I override some CSS. Yeah, like line numbers are at a 0.5 opacity. I've switched off the breadcrumbs, so they don't even come back. But all of these are things that you can customize, and I basically turn them all off because I need a very clean environment to work. Okay. So I'm gonna do this tiny thing where I pull up this here. Okay. Now this is, oops, not this. This is what we wanted to generate, right? And we don't really want to author this because we're already authoring all of this, right? So I want to somehow co-locate all of this because, okay, here's the thing. What I also want is, like, I want variables or like tokens or theme. I'm gonna call it theme for now. And inside my theme is where I actually want all of these styles. So like, let's say I want like my green to be light green, right? Root, I think this is how you do it. Yeah. Okay, and then I'll have to import all of this once. Right, so what I want to do is I don't want to use this thing, I want to use the variable here. And you can see like nothing really changed. Oops, what did I do? I didn't want that at all. Silver. And then I have like my gray is actually this, and my actually, you know what, maybe not even this. What I'd probably do is, okay, this is gonna become tough, so let's use some colors from somewhere else, like these. Open color is this like nice grid of colors. Okay, what do I want? Source Illustrator. How can I just get some of them? No, I don't want to zip. Okay, maybe it's in the GitHub file. There you go, CSS. Yep. So that's okay. Now that I'm thinking, maybe I don't want this. Maybe I'm gonna just use like GitHub's thing. Oh my god, 1 second. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay. And then we have this thing in primitives where you have all the colors and stuff. And I wonder if primitives has like a CSS variable dist. Okay, I'm gonna open it, unpackaged, browse, primer, primitives, give me the latest. Okay, strange. Dist SCSS, okay, I can work with that. Colors. Okay, right, so these are the colors we use, and this is the scale. This is what kind of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to take all of these and put them as CSS variables, right? And this is kind of how you want to use them. So now what I want is my primary to be this. Right, I want it to pick from color scale green to, and I think it still works. The secondary, I want a gray, I want gray too. So variable, and now, you know, this has like simple problems like there's no way of like catching mistakes here, or even knowing if you're using the right thing. Let me also get the fonts, because why not? Okay, color, spacing, typography. Sweet, this looks perfect. Okay. Sweet, we only need like the first three. Variable, this is 1. Variable 2. Okay, all good. Yeah. And of course, like the buttons look ugly, but that's okay. Okay, the green one maybe. I like 3, and then color needs to be white with that one. Perfect. Okay. So this is what I want to generate, but this is not what I want to author. What I want to author is here tied to the appearance and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna move this as well, just so that we have like a clean boundary. So I have this like folder called components, and this is where the button is actually going to live. Export const button, and then this thing should import the button from components. Button. Okay, it's one abstraction behind. Okay, cool. Great. So now what I want is this style should one be located here, right? I don't think Next.js would like it because we're importing it globally, but that's okay. So what we want is like, I'm just gonna copy this. What I really want is to do something like, actually what we can write inside is do something like this, where there is like a const styles, right? And all of this is exported from here. So can I, yikes, okay, I'll have to convert this by hand. So the default is there should be border none, and then now there's like a appearance, and then primary. If the appearance is primary, then all these things happen. If it's secondary, this happens. If it's, I'm gonna change this as we go, but I'm just trying to get a sense of what do I want this to be here. Okay, and these are the appearances, and then there's these sizes. So size small has this typography, medium. Okay, you learn very quickly that I have this compulsion that every step should have some preview. What did I do? Okay, there's an unmatched. Okay. Okay, this is the appearance. Oh, the appearance is everything, which means there you go. Right, and now this all of course still works because it uses the CSS. So what I want to do is that I want to somehow integrate these two where, okay, appearances is probably not going to be a good one, so I'm gonna like use the variance, like wrap all of this in variance and then call this size, and this then starts to look a lot like style system or stitches. All of that is fine. And this, I don't want it to look this, I just want it to look like green 3, right, and gray 2, because those are the variables, and red 3. So this becomes interesting, which is like, what is white and what is green 3? Like, do we need to differentiate? I'm gonna call these background color. Do we need to differentiate, right? Like, this is what stitches does. I don't know if we want to. Let's go with it. Let's go with like calling these a variable for now. Again, this comes from like, I want to say SCSS variables had this like a long time ago, right? Like they wanted to use this, which I think is a really good idea. Okay, but then coming back to my theme, then I want to say it's gray -9, right? Like it has to match the variable. Okay. Cool. And then font size should just be this, font size 0. Oh, actually if it's already font size, then it just should be $0, $1, $2. And the reason I want to do this is because there are places where you might want to make an exception. So for example, this one, maybe it isn't like a theme variable. What's our smallest? Font size. Right, it's this, but maybe we want to make an exception, so I say 11 pixels, right? Let's make an exception here. So instead of going 16, oh, this is perfect. We don't have an 18 here, but for whatever reason, we want this to be 18. So I want to just bake in this thing that you can make exceptions. Bring your entire value then, right? Okay. Cool. Again, tiny break for comments. What's the goal of the exercise? I don't know. The goal of this exercise is I'm trying to figure out how I want to write styles, and I'm trying to go for like, this is what I want the generated output to look like. And I'm trying to figure out what is the nicest way to author these. That's the goal till now. So what I want is all of this to be typed and then generate this. There are projects that already do this. I'm gonna learn how to do it so that I can appreciate the projects, or also like if I want, I can build something of my own. Like I'm trying to figure out what is the thing that I like here, and what is the trade-offs that are on the way. Cool. Hello Sid, hello Rohan. What's the extension for hex colors? I'm not sure. Maybe you're asking about this one. I don't know actually. Maybe is this a VS Code default thing? I actually don't know. I just accidentally hovered on this and it came up. So I think it might be a default. I might be wrong. Hey Rishabh. Okay, back to this. So 2-3 things here. One is that this is what we're going to generate. Part 1. I'm going to start writing these down. Generate CSS from exported styles. I think this is a cool pattern where you can export styles, and that tells the, I don't know, compiler, you don't have a compiler yet, that styles need to be generated. The other thing that we want to do is make this type safe, so that when you do this, if you write something that doesn't exist, you should get an error, right? And then finally, what I want is that instead of using this class names, we actually want to use this styles. So I don't know how. The class name needs to be generated. Okay. Let's see. So basically I'm trying to say like there should be a style function here which does this for us, where like you can give it style like CSS and then give it styles. I don't know what this CSS does yet, but it's a function which returns something. Styles is this object. It receives styles, does nothing with it. Right now it returns nothing. Actually, you know what? It also needs the props, because you do need appearance and size. So it needs the props as well. And this is where things like this, the styled functions comes in, right? Which basically returns a component, right? So you might do something like a styled button is style dot button, right? And I don't want that. I want styles and props. Right, this is what you pass to it. So I'm gonna comment these out because this is all pseudocode, and then you use that, and you're already passing all the props. So then it becomes a thing. This should be a React component. That's all we know. Right, and then it accepts the tag name. So like for example, in this case, it should be a button. Yeah, I don't know why I did this. It just needs to have props, which will be passed down. Props, including these two. And then it should understand where does this appearance and size come from, because this is actually types for this, not this. Okay, lots of things to build here. I'm gonna rewind and try to do the smallest chunk first. So we need a class name function, right? That is where it starts, and it has styles, it has props, and by reading, okay, this needs to go because we want to pass all the props. Sweet. By reading all of the props, okay, this is gonna be a bit icky, but by reading all the props, this class names thing should be able to figure out what styles to get from here, right? So for example, it should always give you styles, right? And I'm assuming that this converts to this, so it will always give you dot button. Extremely pseudocode right now, like none of this would make sense yet. Like it should generate styles out of this, right? So this is the thing that goes into button, right? And then this button, this thing goes into button appearance primary. Like that's the idea here. So I'm assuming this is written, and that's where we're coming from. Interesting. Trying to think of like how would this work. Like you use styles to inject all of that, but you also use styles for variants, and you want to do something like what are the different variants. So the variants are props.variants, which means I can just pull it out of here, and then the variant keys. Okay, so let's do this. Variant names is actually object.keys of variants, right? What did I break? Cannot convert null. Oh, this should be styles. Okay, so we got variant names, and now the prop actually, if you're giving appearance or size, it would match it, right? So I'm gonna say variant names dot for each. Let's do a map. We got a name, and then we want to check if props is also gonna be an object. So if props that name is a thing, then we have the appearance, right? So then I'm gonna say const variant value is, let's see, you'll get appearance is equal to primary. Oh, then it's just be props of name. This Okay, and then from here we would return. Here I'm returning nothing. Here I'm returning. What is the what is the what is the variant name? So name and then variant value. Not sure that makes any sense. And this is going to be the classes or variant classes. Variant class names, variant, variant. Okay. And it's gonna be an array, so I can actually just concatenate these two, join them with a space. Okay, I'm not sure if any of that works. Let's see. Button appearance undefined, undefined size undefined. Okay, good. So that means the variant value is null. This should probably just be this in it. Sweet, now we got button appearance primary. Sweet, so we got the right class names. We got this, which is bad. Shouldn't have this. So we need some way of like getting rid of that from the element. I have some ideas. We're gonna come back to that later. And now what's interesting is that this has button primary appearance. It doesn't have the class name. What's up with that? Because we do have these styles. Am I not importing them anymore? Button, I do have them. What's up? Button. Oh, you can't. I don't need to have a dot here. Of course. Perfect. Now they're all styled. So this is good. So this goes into some library form, and this is what we write. So I'm gonna put it here. So this is what I want to be able to write, where I write export styles is all of this, and then this goes into button based on the file name, maybe. Interesting. This is gonna be good. And then interesting, this would also need to have like something here, like what is the file or class, like what is the base, right? This would have to be like the base. Instead of saying button here, it should say base. Base, I think, is always a string. That's an easy thing to type. Okay, and of course I may want to type all of this in Laravel. Okay, so this is a bad API. I want to work on the API as well. But okay, to recap, this goes into the lib part. You write this. Because it is exported, there's like a CLI or a Babel plugin, something, not sure yet, which converts this into this. And then you use the class names utility which ships with this to pass it your styles and pass it your props and the base. I'm sure there's a way of like automating this base. And then you get the right semantic looking class names. The nice thing is like it's very easy to debug as well, where you get all of this, where you have the button class and you have button appearance primary, button size small, and it's all scoped to it, so you know it doesn't break. And then you have this variables where we ship all of the variables. That's something to look at. Do we want to ship? I think we want to ship all the variables. Okay, the last thing that this should eventually support is that if I have, okay, this is not, I'm gonna close this down. for this one, right, what I want to do is I want to say like, give me some overriding ability where what do I want? Let's see. Okay, maybe I'm trying to go for like appearance is primary, but then I want the border color to be green 4 or green 5, right? Let me check my button. So 1 pixel, actually, you know what, it's fine, let me put it none, but then here I want it to be border 1 pixel solid green 5. Okay, this is like, but also you probably want like margin bottom 1, right? And then this takes from like spaces or something. So this CSS should also be red here. CSS, yeah, this is like unknown or any at this point. And you pass this also to class names. Do you pass it to class names? You pass it somewhere, I'm not sure where. I guess you do pass it here. CSS. Oh, it's already in props. Never mind. Yeah, we don't need to do anything. We just need to like type it something. It's gonna be an object, that we know for sure. I don't know how to type an object. Object? I don't think that's the way, because this is like two loops. But then you also get it in props, right? Which means that your class name functions, this one has CSS. Right, so if props.css, then we want to be able to add that here based on our theme, right? Like it should be able to interpolate and put it there. Is that a runtime thing? Because I know I said no runtime. So there should be a way to do this in build time then. So, oh, which I guess is fine. Like when you, this is probably not build time, but this is still, it's probably like if your server rendering it, this is also runtime. Interesting. Okay, I don't really know what the answer is here, but this, oh, I think I actually know. So this needs to get converted to class name. Oh, okay. Yeah, this needs to get converted to like button, and this is like instance CSS, right? Like this is what it will go to, right? But it's like an instance override, and then here you want like not even button, you need it on like this page's related CSS. Okay, let's for now assume that goes here, and then so here you should have, what would be right here? We wrote this, right? This should become margin bottom var space 2 and border 1 pixel var, I don't know, color scale green 5. Right, I'm gonna remove this because I don't have margins yet. Right, and okay, not a thing. So you should be able to do this, And in addition to the CSS that's generated here, you should also get another CSS which looks like this. Now I don't know where this goes. I want to say it goes right next to this component. Like this goes in like, if this is index, which is a bad name now, it should go into index CSS instead of global. Let's see, where is my global? There should be a file created corresponding to that one, which is here. Okay, yeah, I think I'm happy with this. I know what I want. I don't know how it would happen yet. But I know some steps. Like first step is like export this into this. Like you should never have to write this file. This should be generated. And similarly, when you write something like this should also be generated. CSS. Interesting. I think it would happen here. Yeah, I think it should happen here. Okay, I'm gonna give it a go. So when you give like a CSS, I'm gonna make it easier for myself. Let's say it only has border color. And then like the default already has a border. 1 pixel solid. Right. And probably write it here as well. 1 pixel solid. Okay. So I think console.log, I'm a bit lost now. Props.css. Right, you'll get border color green. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, so this should have okay, so the border. Oh, okay. I think this is where like things like utility classes would come in, where essentially if this is border color green 5, this should translate to border color like green 5. But do we like, I don't want to push all of that CSS, that seems wrong. Okay, so then this has to exist. No, I think that is the right way to do it. Just that this, if we see this on the button, this should get converted to this in the Babel transform. This should be button instance CSS and then some hash, right? Like this is gonna be like something like this. That's enough. Right, and then this thing okay. If you want to accept a class name, okay. So and then this generated thing should go here, right? Yes, this is how it should be. And this is not happening on runtime. This is happening on build time, which means that this function essentially doesn't actually care about CSS, because that's not its job. Its job is to convert styles. So this is clean. The only thing which is like weird here is that where is the border? Wait, is this the right color? Okay, yeah. This thing doesn't accept class name, which is a problem. It should accept class name because it will get converted. So even if it doesn't accept class name here, I think it's fine. Just that this should be able to convert props.class name. So props.class name should be here. Looks wrong, feels wrong. But is it wrong? We got button instance something. Okay, so props should actually be here. There we go. Now we get button appearance size and the instance class, and the rest of them don't get an instance class because they don't need it. Yep. You can't even see this, so you don't know if it worked. 8. I have no idea what this did. Oh. Yeah, we're not even loading that style. Cool, I'm gonna put this into here. And this is gonna be interesting, like how do folks load these files? Hey, that's an open question. Yeah, it will generate all the files, but how you load them is, do you load them like in, will it come here and then you're supposed to put them in global, or do you scope them page-wise CSS? I think it would look different in different component, different frameworks. Cool, I think I'm gonna create like a basic one and then figure out what is like next story and all that. Okay, seems like Primer React's SX prop for custom CSS uses style system. It does, which means it does not happen at build time. It doesn't. It's actually, all of it happens in the runtime because we use style system with style components. But I'm trying to here explore if we wanted to do all of that in build time, could we, and what that would look like, and which gives me a good idea that I could use style system on the CLI, which is I think what I did here. Let's see, DS tools, style CSS. Okay. It uses system. What is inside system? System. Yep. Yeah, I use style system on Node because it's all JavaScript, and that totally works. Okay, I feel like this is a good, nice place to stop because I don't know how long this project is. It's probably like a few weeks of work. So yeah, I'm gonna stop here. I feel good about the little progress we've made, and yeah, maybe I'll do one tomorrow. Actually, not tomorrow for sure. Maybe I'll do one on Monday, maybe Tuesday. We'll find out. Cool, thanks for hanging out with me, and ciao.